Hello, this is Amanda Martha with Collection Ascension, and this will be the reading for tonight's full moon, October 20th, through the last quarter moon on the 28th. So just going to access what energies there are for this week and what could be fulfilled, what we could see come into fruition, what we can anticipate and expect. Maybe any warnings or where we should keep a bit of a guard, what we could anticipate from ourselves and others and from the universal energies and collective conscious in general. Or you feel with the way that shuffled that things might come slow, but keep the attention on the little things, because a tricky little card flipped in here is hiding. But there is information in things that we don't see right off. Did it fall out? You know what? It'll come up when it needs to come up. However, just keep in mind, some things that we go through, they align later. You know, we don't see it right away. It comes in the divine timing and all, right? Instantaneously, this just gives off like the necessity for shadow work vibes. And I can't really remember right now, but I'm pretty sure these parallels of the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Swords being one in reverse and one in uprighted positions was in our last reading. However, let's get into it. I think that going through processes that come up, or as things come up, going through the processes of healing and integrating them as they do come, is going to be a theme, because we have our Ace of Swords in reverse and our Ten of Cups in reverse, which are, the aces are always going to be about a cycle completion or a new beginning, a new opportunity. And then with it being the swords, this is our air energy. So this would be our actions. And with the Ten of Cups also in reverse, I think this is a bit of a necessity to just focus on the hard work that we are going to need to do. what comes up from within, because our realities are just a mirror projection of our internal world, right? So when things come up in our families or with our close people that can make us feel upset, or that start to amplify emotions that we already have within ourselves, maybe something that isn't quite seen outright to us, these things come up to get our attention so that we can put this work in. However, I think that a necessity to not take action on those triggers that get us in trouble with our family, maybe not trouble, but like making decisions and acting on feelings that are heated or charged with negative emotions that need the attention and work to be healed, rather than expressing them and causing a disharmony in our relationships and in our families. These people in our lives, they are there to teach us. So instead of damaging the connections that we have with them, I think we need to focus on the work we need to do to healing this. These are quite different from each other. What causes us to react in these ways only solidifies further suffering and pain and regret, and a necessity to apologize or take a step back and claim your faults and mend relationships. But I feel like if we put this work in to see where these disharmonies come up, because they come from ourselves. So if something that our families do, our people, or the people around us, it's our loved ones. See, cups, it's emotional, and with this 10 of cups, these are our close people. Work stuff can still bother us, but I feel this is immediate family specifically. People who are with you all the time, people who see every side of you, and the ones that on a soul contract level are designed to awaken you to certain aspects of yourself you're not seeing, our blind spots. These individual swords in our back. So to transcend these and flip them, to where we're out of the pain state and into the harmony state, we must work on becoming a more innocent version of ourselves. And see, then we can be released to take new action and create a new cycle from this new perspective, from this enlightened but still invigorated version of ourselves. Because once we put this hard work in and we start to see these efforts coming to manifest in our lives, then we can upgrade to a King of Pentacles, which is a earthbound being. He is a ruler of his life. So to be able to reassess our automatic and slow down enough to strain it through a filter of acceptance, putting that effort and hard work in to take claim and responsibility for what we are in control of, because this reality that we're experiencing, these upsets that we have with our people, these things that can cause conflict and further separation, are only there to show you how unity consciousness is available to you constantly through the work, through reflection, and through necessary grounding and slowing of your interaction. So to do that and to become this king here, we must take the proper steps toward realizing that the perception is ours. They're coming out of the cold right into sanctity. They're seeking sanctuary and they have found it. However, they're still outside bruised and wounded and cold. And with a 5, fives are about releasing what no longer serves us. And here's this 9. Ooh, okay, so what is the difference between a 5 and a 9? It's a 4. And the number 4, I said that at 10:44. Super cool. Anyway, 4s are about knowing that your divine team is with you, is nearby, and they're just waiting for you to ask for their assistance. But right now, homie, or Our Lady here, is in reverse. So these struggles are seen through a veil of hardship, through a veil of stormy weather that is needed to be saved, that we're needing to be saved from. However, we save ourselves. The 9 of Pentacles creates her own reality. Imagine if you blinked and it just went from this scene to this scene in a second and you were like, whoa. Now, to get there, this perspective shift happens through diligence. It happens through dedication and a commitment. If you want to change and if you want to engage with your divine team and create this new reality, then you have to see things for what they are. And if you can't see clearly right now, you got to ask, show me. Show me what I'm not seeing. Tell me what I need to say. Tell me what I need to not say. Can you open my eye to the language between myself and others that is secret? Show me what my body's trying to tell me, what this feeling is trying to express, what these moods are really saying. Because a lot of the time, the way that other people make us feel has to do with how we already feel, and they're just bringing it out so that we can heal it and give it attention and validation. And only then do we become a new cycle or do we come to a new cycle that's passionately charged. Our actions will be backed up with our intuition, and we'll know exactly how to approach things because we can slow down enough to take the time to assess it beforehand. I want to get a little bit more. Can we have some specifications on what causes this upheaval of the shadow? Yeah, dude. So much imbalance. We have the 2 of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups both in reverse. This is a view. Everything is balanced. The universe is dualistic. It's unified, however. The duality and separation is what causes the imbalance. Can't have one without the other. The water can nourish you or drown you. And I think with these other cards coming up first, if we can learn to balance ourselves in times of turmoil, then we can harmonize and balance our relationships with others. Yeah. Then, while we put that into practice, we start looking at what we have with a new perspective, what there is to work on in front of us. We can look at it through the perception of dread, or we can look at it through the perception of gratitude and gratefulness, because his fruit is there. What he planted is coming to be harvested, and what we can choose to do is we can choose to pick it, and we can use it for ourselves. We can let it nourish us, let us rejoice in the fruits of our labor and what comes up, or we can choose to let the cycle repeat itself as these opportunities for a physical manifestation of what we are spiritually planting falls away and dies. So we take up this responsibility to balance the self, to heal our relationships with others, to look at it as a the word flew out of my brain. I don't know what I'm saying. To look at it from the perspective of that I get to do this. Not I'm gonna have to do this, or I have so much to do, think I get to do so much. So just changing the perspective, and that amplifies you back to the beginning with the consciousness of the Fool, which the Fool is just so blissful because it knows that no matter what, it's all in service, it's all purposeful. So let's see what oracle cards we can get. These are the Asking Your Guides deck by Sonia Choquette. So with these cards that come up, it'll be kind of giving us clarification of which guides and spirits that we can access for help when we are taking this time to slow down. One thing I read even just today that I wrote down for myself is that when we're in the midst of this drama, you have to verbally hear yourself say, I accept place, situation here. I accept this situation as it is, as a part of my life, for it is a reflection of my inner world. So we'll see which guides and spirits can aid us in this opportunity to ask with this 4 or the 5 and 9 that I was mentioning before. Which ones are waiting for us to ask them for help, I guess. Thank you guys. Ooh, we got 4 this time. So we got, this one was last week too. Celebration, which is right on with the new, or the full moon. Celebration with our joy guides. Competition with our warrior guides. Intuition with our inner child. And suffering with our divine teachers. Yeah. I like how all of these cards have a bit of the same colors intermingled in them all. So, okay. So, with our joy guides in celebration, it's kind of going back to what I said about how we get to have this experience. We get to learn these things and apply ourselves in what we learn, and we get to have the opportunity to ascend and grow and have further understanding of what it all means, and to look at things in the perspective of joy, then we can take a step back and chuckle to ourselves. I said this last week also, but with joy guides, they can be a bit mischievous. So when, say, something is going on in our family, a little bit of inconveniences, nothing gets me more pissed off than just like a compilation of mild inconveniences. I've been through incredible trauma in my life that I have worked through, and somehow that seems to be more I'm more capable of facing these things than keeping my shit together in the midst of small inconvenience. And joy guides can manifest those types of moments in your life so that you'll slow down, so that you'll engage with the hysteria, the hilarity and hysteria. Okay, whatever. They try to stop you in your tracks to remind you that this is just an illusion and you're falling for it. They're there to help you. And so then with our warrior guides in competition, it's kind of like, okay, so back here we have our ancestors, our guides, our spiritual team, and here we have you and yourself, me and myself, us and we down here, fighting ourselves between spirit and body, between intuition and reaction. Maybe taking a step, like we said, taking that step to slow down, so that when we find ourselves in these tug of war situations, either with ourselves on the inside or with others, just asking our warrior guides, help us get through this, show me what battles can be won and how. And through that, you can get your intuition. Or through your intuition, you can get that answer. Also, with the inner child, it goes right on with the Fool, but also, okay, so you see how this ball, what is it? The balls that you look into, like a fortune teller. Anyway, this is reflecting this inner child on the inside, right? And so this child within always lives there, and without healing it, it'll stir up trouble to get validation. I'm going to cause problems so that I can get your attention. I'm going to bother this thing so that you'll notice it. And while it is reflecting, we can see, like I said before, how these interactions and all of the agitating life experiences come from within to begin with, which causes the suffering, and that suffering is a divine teacher in itself. The version of ourselves that we are liberating from the suffering is the version of ourselves who doesn't win this competition but lets the rope down. The one who realizes that this child can be healed with joy in celebration. So going forth this week, remember that it's all in a divine order, and it's all there to teach you. This is a playground, and we're playing house. This is God experiencing itself. This is, just it's a sitcom, and we can either laugh or we can think that we're the ones in it, you know? Really hard thing to put into practice, easier said than done. But with our divine teachers, our inner children, our warrior guides, and our joy guides there to help us, I feel as though this is an accomplishable feat. And with this full moon, we can celebrate what there is to be grateful for, because it's a lot. Even when things are rough, even when we're feeling really down, when we start to think of all that we could do better, it's still enough. And just figuring out what it is that you could do to re-engage with the grounded and secure steadfastness of your soul. Whatever it is that helps you connect with something that's outside of this day-to-day. I think that we're doing a good job even on our worst day. And I think that everything is validated just by experiencing it. And to continue forth with the intention of accepting and opening ourselves up to what it is as it comes, no matter what that looks like, we will reach like completely restored realities that no longer devastate us, because we can see it for what it is and connect to that higher unity within, that extension of ourselves and everything. And we can see it as just the source of all the things, and be grateful that we are so highly regarded in that. That's going to be it for this week, and I hope that you are satisfied and met with glory in all your endeavors. See you next week. Thanks.